I haven't done anything yet, so hold your applause. All right, hello everybody. Super excited that y'all are all here. Let me start recording my screen real quick. All right, let's get into it. Who's ready to learn how to get more clients on social media?
Me.
I'm gonna need a little more volume than that. Yes, that's the energy we need in here. That's the vibes. All right, quick run over the agenda. So I'm gonna be giving a presentation. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I'm assuming probably around 40 to 50 minutes. Gonna be covering a lot of stuff. Then we're gonna do a live workshop portion where we're all going to practice doing something that is helpful, and I'll get to that later. Then we're gonna have a live Q&A, and then we got a little food snackage action at the end there. All right, everybody loves a good icebreaker. So we're gonna go around the room. We're gonna share our name, what line of business you're in, and why you came today. So I will start us off. My name is Brandon Clay. If y'all didn't know, I'm in social media advertising. I think you guys already all knew that. And I came today to share as much value as I possibly can to give you guys some fundamental insights about marketing and some actionable, practical strategies and tactics that you can begin putting into place today to start getting more clients from social media. So that's me. Lots of different lines of business, lots of different reasons for being here, but ultimately I think what I'm hearing is y'all want to learn how to get more business off of social media. That's what we're going to go over today. So this presentation is called How to Attract Your Dream Clients from Social Media. So first of all, let me start out by explaining who I am. My name is Brandon Clay. I'm the founder of Harmony Marketing. We do social media advertising funnels. I'll dive deep into that. I've been in business since June of 2024, so about a year and 8 months now. I've learned a lot during that time. I have a BS in marketing, and I think it's called BS because it's total BS. Yeah, I threw that in there just because, that's kind of what planted the seed for me of marketing, but I don't use anything that I learned in school on a day-to-day basis. And so that's why I want to take what we have learned in this time of doing this work and share it with y'all. We're currently serving over 30 clients, helping them attract their dream clients with social media. Some of the things I love, as you know, my wife. I love cooking. I love working out, playing guitar, and working on building myself and my business every single day. Some of the clients we've served: med spas, photographers, tiny home builders, remodeling companies, functional medicine, landscaping, auto detailing, business insurance, pool builders, mortgage professionals, gyms, home security companies. The point is, the concepts you're going to learn today are not industry exclusive. They will work for everybody. To let you know that I'm not full of crap, let me show you some of the clients that we've worked with and the results we generated. First Class Floors, a flooring company, $50K in revenue in 2 months. Sands Little Lights, a Christmas light company, got a 3.86x ROI in 3 months. Redmond Health and Wellness, we started working with him like 3 days after he opened the doors to his private gym. He went from 6 clients to 40 in 2 months, got a 5x return. Limitless Design Build, when I was creating this presentation over the weekend, as of this month, he's closed $920,000 in sales in the last 30 days. Obviously, he's got a very high ticket service. He builds pools, but almost $1 million in business in the last month. Knockout Custom Pools, $1.2 million in sales in the first 65 days. Living Holistic, we ran their ads, 369 leads coming to the community in 4 months for $4.86 a lead. Loyally Sauna Lounge, they're a sauna lounge and cold plunge facility down in Houston. We ran their campaign. They sold 181 sales within about 60 days. HTX Tiny Homes, we helped them go. We literally started when they were ground zero, didn't have a single project to their name, and they did $3 million in sales in the first year of business. Responsive Mortgage, 460 leads at $19.60 per lead. The Kalos Project with Steve, that's my dad right there, he runs it too. 552 leads in 2.5 months for $4.80 a lead. That's one of the most successful campaigns we've ever run. And then of course, I'm using this to grow my own business. In the last 30 days, I spent $3,300 and I've collected $17,500. So that's the power of social media sales funnels. Just so y'all know, this actually works. And we're doing it every single day. If you offer a product or service, how many of us in here offer a product or service? Is that not every single person in this room? You will, or the concepts you learned today will work for you. But, and there is a big caveat to this, it's up to you to make them work. Who's ever felt overwhelmed with marketing before? A lot of us. I know I have. Maybe even helpless. You didn't know what to do. That's me. Like no matter what you do, you can't seem to figure out how to actually land clients online. Maybe it seems like everyone around you has it all figured out. I know I've experienced that myself, where you open up social media and it seems like everyone is just crushing it. And it's like, what am I doing wrong here? You're stuck, or you feel stuck, making random posts here and there, hoping that the right people will stumble upon you, but they never do. Maybe you get some referrals here or there, but it's never consistent. I have been there, and I've found a system that I'm going to show you today for how you can get out of that place. It is a hard place to be. It sucks. It sucks to be working, as entrepreneurs, a lot of the time we're working 10, 12 plus hour days just to be making it by sometimes. And so what I'm going to show you is how to use social media to build leverage and to ultimately gain that freedom, time freedom and financial freedom that we got into business for in the first place. I want to help you out of that place. So some of my goals for today, I want to give you clarity. Clarity on how to consistently attract the right clients to you and where you may have gone wrong in doing so in the past. I want to give you peace of mind. Peace of mind that there is a pathway to getting real results for your business, and it really is simpler than you might think. I want to give you an understanding of some fundamental marketing principles and how they apply to social media sales funnels. And I want to give you practical strategies. Practical strategies, tactics, and a clear action plan that you can start implementing today, right after this, to start attracting more of your dream clients. But like I said, the key is implementation. Information without implementation is utterly useless. The concepts I'll show you today only work if you put in the work. So buckle up and let's dive in. The root problem that we all share. Most of us are doing things that feel like marketing without a clear and focused system and wondering why they're not getting results. How many of us would raise their hand if I asked you the question, are you doing marketing right now? Who all is doing some sort of marketing? Yeah, probably all of us. Examples of ineffective marketing: random posting on Facebook and Instagram. Boosting posts here and there. Who's boosted a post and spent money and not seen anything come from it? Yeah. Trying to do SEO. Maybe you've worked with an SEO company. Maybe you've spent hours of your own time doing blog posts and nothing really ever came from it. Spending hours and hours in networking groups. How many of us have done that? And not to say that's a bad thing. I've spent tons of hours in networking groups, and a lot of good can come out of that. Has anybody tried running ads before? Okay. Has anybody worked with a marketing agency that burned you? Has that ever happened? Okay, a lot of the clients that I've talked to that we end up working with, I hear all the time. There's a lot of bad marketing agencies out there. The main problem that all of these things create is that there is no cohesive customer journey. You're boosting a post here. You're shaking hands and kissing babies in a networking group. You're trying to do SEO, but these things, they're not touching the same people multiple times and guiding them down an actual intentionally designed customer journey. So there is a time and a place for all these things. All those things that I mentioned, SEO, boosting posts, running ads, going to networking, these are all great tools that we can use, but we have to leverage them with intention, and we have to be strategic with how we use these tools. Most of us share one simple problem, one big problem. Does anybody have any guesses what that problem might be?
We don't know how to do it.
Don't know how to do it. Follow through. Follow-up is a big one.
Time.
Anybody else? Time? Okay, time's one. Anybody else?
Discipline.
I like discipline.
You don't have a clear customer.
I think that's also a really good one. I think these are all very valid answers. What I would say these are all perhaps symptoms of is the real core problem, the big problem. Not enough of the right people know that we exist. It's not that not enough of people know that we exist. It's not enough of the right people know that we exist. So how can we actually go about solving that problem? That's one I would write down. That one, I think, that this is the core underlying problem of why so many small business owners fail in the first 3 to 5 years. We hear that statistic all the time. 80% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years. Why is that? Typically it's because of a lack of profitability, usually because of a lack of cash flow, usually because of a lack of lead flow. And why do we have a lack of lead flow? Because not enough of the right people know that we exist. The people that would love to buy from us if they only knew about us and how great of a service we offer. How many of us would say that we're really good at the service that we provide? Like, top 10 to 20% of all the service providers in your niche. Yeah, we all can provide a great service, and that's kind of expected. But one of the hard truths is that even companies that provide a much worse service than you, that market themselves better than you, they're going to win all day, every day. So when you pair great marketing with a great service, your business is off to the races. So if we ever want a chance at achieving the freedom that we got into business for in the first place, we need a system that consistently gets the right people to know, like, and trust us on autopilot. How many of you all have heard that in order for somebody to buy from you, they need to know, like, and trust you? Okay? Yeah, I think we all have heard that. In order to make a sale, people have to know, like, and trust you. However, any customer that's ever bought from you ultimately has known, liked, and trust you. But oftentimes we are having to put in all this manual work of going to networking and building relationships, and we're not leveraging the technology of content and paid advertising funnels and nurturing sequences to do this for us. That's really the beauty of what social media sales funnels do, is it's a system that gets the right people to know, like, and trust us on autopilot. That way that, that first time or second time where we ever actually end up in conversation with them, it is closing the deal. It's not this whole education and trust building process, because that's done for you. That system is called a sales funnel. A sales funnel is not all this complicated tech. I've heard, many people excuse themselves from doing marketing because they think they're not tech savvy enough, or they think it's just too over their heads, but that's really not the reality. What a sales funnel is the way that people come to know, like, and trust you. And the reality is, all of us already have a sales funnel. Everybody in this room has a sales funnel. But many of us have highly manual, unpredictable sales funnels, where it requires us to spend our time going out and making relationships and relying on referrals and relying on word of mouth. And these things are great. Referrals and word of mouth and networking, those are some of the easiest sales you're ever going to make, because it's, face to face. You build trust faster than you build over, a video or an ad. But it's extremely low leverage, and that's the problem. And as entrepreneurs, this is low leverage. As entrepreneurs, we should strive to maximize our leverage. Can anybody define leverage in the context of business? Who wants to take a shot at it?
A little in, get a lot out.
That's it. It's for less input, how can we get more output? And that's the purpose of a social media sales funnel. That's really ultimately what we should always be striving to do as business owners, not just in marketing and sales, but in every aspect of our business. How can we put less of our time, less of our energy, less of our bandwidth in, and get even more value out of it? That's the purpose of a social media sales funnel. We do this through simple systems that bring us clients while we sleep. All right, so I want to talk to you about the customer journey. So essentially, this is the core problem, like I mentioned a second ago, with how most of us are already approaching marketing, which is we're doing a lot of things, but there's no clear customer journey. So the customer journey is what brings somebody from a person that doesn't know you to paying you cash. There are 3 key phases that every customer has to go through in order to becoming a customer: awareness, consideration, and conversion. I would write those down. Those are 3 core phases of consumer awareness and psychology to understand. And when it comes to marketing, you have to make sure that you're meeting people where they're at. If you are putting a conversion-based message in front of somebody who doesn't even know you exist yet, that's at the awareness phase, it's like asking a girl to marry you on the first date. And cold outreach can be a wonderful medium of acquiring new clients, but again, it's very manual. The amount of volume that you have to do is insane. And most of us, operate within a local service area, and so you can't really do the level of volume with cold outreach that you need to do in order to get the number of clients that you need to sustain your business. So cold outreach is really greater for for companies that serve all over the world or all over the country. Networking, what we're doing right now, the B&I groups, the NAIA groups, the chamber, networking is great. That's how we meet new people. Search engines, Google. I actually met a guy who had a lot of success with Bing recently, which is crazy. Wouldn't have expected it, but people are finding people through Bing still. ChatGPT and AI, people are now converting to AI as their primary search engine rather than Google. So how do we appear on those when people are searching for us? And then also social media platforms are turning into a search engine of their own, where a lot of the time people go to TikTok or Instagram to find information rather than go to Google or ChatGPT. But again, search engines with SEO, that takes a long time to build up, and it's great if you are the person showing up when people are looking for you, then that's a huge asset for your business. But for a newer website, that can take a year plus to actually get that organic search going. Organic content, so social media posts, Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Pinterest and YouTube. Organic is really like over the long term. That's where you want to put the majority of your bandwidth, but it'll take a lot longer to actually build that audience of people that know, like, and trust you. And that speaks exactly to why long-term organic content is the strategy that you want to pursue, and you use some paid to help boost his organic following. But ultimately, when people are following you, and they're seeing your content every single day, that gets them to know, like, and trust you. I think we all understand why content is so important for lead nurture. But the point I'm trying to make is it can take a lot of time before that happens. I would say Marcus is an outlier in that, after 4 months, he was starting to see some business come through it. But oftentimes, it can take, a year, couple years. You'll start seeing attention, pretty linearly. But in order for the amount of business coming through organic to actually sustain your business, it can take a long time. And it's a heavy lift at the beginning. But that's an asset that once you have it built, it'll feed you for essentially ever. And then there's paid advertising. So paid advertising is essentially taking content, so video content, image content, text-based content, and paying dollars to just put it right in front of your ideal clients. So what this allows you to do is use our money instead of our time to predictably make the right people aware that we exist. So this is what my favorite mechanism is to drive awareness, paid advertising. And that's a crucial thing. And I think, as business owners, that can sound a little bit scary, like use my money instead of my time, but like I don't have any money to allocate to paid advertising, you know what I mean? How am I supposed to do that? But what so many people don't realize, and I think a belief that is very beneficial to be shattered, is that your time is actually far more valuable than your money. And if you're spending hours and hours and hours going to get business, especially if it's not feeding you all that much, the opportunity cost of you spending that time doing those activities is far greater than you spending, $20, $30 a day on advertising. Because you can generate that same attention and even better, more targeted attention through paid ads and leave your time to be allocated to those highest leverage things within your business that only you can do. So paid advertising allows us to put strategic content and messaging into the minds of our ideal clientele. Paid advertising works for us while we sleep. Very few of those other mechanisms do that. You can't have a salesperson go networking for you in the middle of the night. Whereas paid advertising, almost every single day over the last week, I wake up and I'm like, oh wow, I got 2 new discovery calls booked with my ideal clients. And I didn't have to do anything except build it once and then feed it with cash in order to make that happen. Paid advertising also is extremely high leverage in that once you build it, and you can let it work for you for months and months, really without having to touch it at all. And that's a really beautiful thing. You want to keep an eye on it. You want to, every now and then swap out your videos, your ad creatives. I'll get into that in more detail in a little bit. But it's very much, like a software in the sense of you build it and then it just works for you in the background. So Meta ads for basically everybody in here would be my recommended platform for paid advertising. That's Facebook and that's Instagram. The reason why I recommend using Meta ads, nearly all markets for local services exist on Meta. Meta has 4 billion users. The odds of your ideal clientele not being on Meta are basically zero. All of our clientele exist on Meta. You are able to get strategic messages and content right under the noses of your target market. It allows you to control how much awareness you generate. If you put in more money, and if you make a really good ad, which I'll teach you how to do today, then you can have basically on-demand control of how many people become aware of you. People can see your face and hear your voice, which builds so much more trust than something like Google advertising or even SEO, where their entire interaction with your marketing is done through text. That's a crucial difference. That's a huge reason why meta advertising is so important for basically all of our businesses, because we are, the goal is to build a system that gets people to know, like, and trust us as fast and efficiently as possible. Video is what allows us to do that. That's the next best thing to face-to-face networking. So we got to be using video. And I know it's kind of uncomfortable. It's awkward at first. Last night I was making another ad for this, and Lexi will tell you, I was struggling to make that video. So it's like, it gets easier over time, and it is a little uncomfortable, but the rewards of what that can bring you are immense. I'm actually curious, how many people are here today because they saw one of my ads? Okay, that's like, what, 7 or 8 people, maybe like a third of the room are here because they saw ads. So that's, that speaks directly to the power of these social media sales funnels. These are real human connections that would not have been generated without this. And then ads link directly to your social media profiles, which if you consistently post is essentially a trust or antitrust portfolio. So it's just a great mechanism for building trust and getting people to know, like, and trust you fast. Okay, so we want to use meta ads to generate awareness. Now, after awareness comes consideration. Once people find out that you exist, then they need to trust you. So how do we get people to trust us? Anybody got any ideas for what kind of, regarding social media sales funnels, how can we get people to trust us? Testimonials are fantastic. Anybody else?
I don't know if it counts, but just responsiveness.
I agree with that.
Industry struggles with that.
Oh, yeah.
All you have to do is provide half decent customer service, and you're better than.
Seriously. In real estate too, I think a huge stereotype is like, my realtor never calls me back. And it's like, yeah, just by being responsive, somebody shoots you a DM, like, hey, like, as fast as you can, speed to lead. Speed to lead is everything. So we need to show these people that have become aware of us proof-based content. I would write down proof-based content that proves that we can help them achieve whatever their desired outcome is. So some different types of proof-based content. There's Google reviews. So that's kind of like, 101, y'all better be asking your customers for Google reviews. If you're not doing that, or if you slowed down doing that, you better start up doing that. Because that, if they see you on Meta and they don't convert right away, but they're interested, the odds are that they'll probably go to Google and look you up. And if you have nothing, or if you have like 10 Google reviews, that's not going to be a great look, and they might go elsewhere. Before and afters, especially for visual, visual businesses in nature, like construction or like tattoos, or anything else that like there's something compelling to be seen visually. Before and afters are huge trust building mechanisms. Video testimonials. So this is essentially somebody leaving you a Google review, but them recording themselves on their phone. And I encourage everyone to get at least 5 to 10 of these, but it really as many as you can. And that is as simple as texting up, one of your past clients and asking them, hey, if you had a good experience with me, I'm trying to grow my marketing. Would you please record a 30 to 60 second video on your phone, just saying what the experience that you had with me was like and what you would tell other people about me. Most of the time, people are more than happy to do that. If you gave them a good experience, they will be so willing to do that. And that is such a valuable asset that you can leverage in your sales process. And then case studies. So, in my case, marketing results are a big part of what we do. And so I'm able to leverage case studies on specific examples of the numbers that I generated for my clients. And so if you run that type of business where you are helping your clients achieve a specific result, then using more in-depth case studies, I like to do video. So that could be a video interview that just a Zoom call that you record, asking your clients some questions. Or, and I've done a few of these, is like an actual YouTube video where you just go through what you did, what problem they were facing, what results that were generated, and then you post it on YouTube. And then anytime somebody's considering working with you, then you can just send them the link to that video, and that warms them up so much, and that's been a hugely impactful tool for my business. Purpose of proof-based content is showcase how you've helped other people like them achieve the transformation that they're looking for. It's all about helping them achieve the transformation. I'll touch on that more in a little bit. Okay, so these proof assets should essentially be what comes up whenever people are looking deeper into you. So they've already found out about you because of meta ads, and then whether they go to your website or your social media profile or your Google business profile, you want them to find that proof-based content whenever they're looking deeper. And that's going to help build trust. And then finally, conversion. After people know that we exist and trust that we can get them a good result, the next step is, or we need to make the next step obvious and easy. one of the biggest mistakes that I see lots of different businesses make is they have a website that has like 4 different call to actions on it, where at the top it might say contact us, and then on the main hero section of the website there might be a contact form, and then there might be an email link at the bottom of the page. And so you're just confusing people on what they're supposed to do next, and a confused mind does not buy. So if people don't know what the singular next step is, they're probably not going to take it. So you have to make it obvious and also easy. Make it very convenient. And ultimately, it needs to be a very convenient experience on a phone, because most people are making purchasing decisions, especially through a social media sales funnel, on a phone. So your website has to be mobile responsive. It has to look and work great and seamless on a phone. Let's take a step back, and I want to talk about what is a conversion. Anybody want to take a shot at like what is the definition of a conversion in this context? Marcus?
I guess for me at least, what I consider a conversion is when I run an ad such as that. Let's say I have $300 into the ad, and I get a $300 deposit for a new tattoo from someone I've not talked to prior. That is me converting someone.
Yeah, that's one example of a conversion. I would say for a lot of people in here, there needs to be some sort of conversation that happens in most cases, whether it's like a discovery call or something like that. It's totally a conversion. I would say you're unique compared to most people in this room in that sense of most of us can't just like get somebody to go and purchase something without ever having talked to us. So the way I like to define a conversion is a conversion doesn't mean that they're a paying customer necessarily. It doesn't even mean that they're ready to buy yet. They might not be ready to buy for years. It means they've raised their hand and they've expressed interest in what you do, and they've given you permission to contact them. Now you step in and build a relationship and close the deal. So in the context of social media sales funnels, there's a variety of different conversion mechanisms. Some examples are DMs. So somebody just shoots you a DM on Instagram or Facebook. Well, that's a conversion. That's them saying, hey, yeah, I'm interested in whatever you got going on. Filling out a contact form, classic one. We use these a lot on landing pages and websites. Somebody just filling out their contact info, maybe a few questions saying, yes, contact me. Booking an appointment with you. This is one of my favorite ones, and I'll dive into this later, especially if it follows a contact form, and I'll get into that. But everyone should have something like a Calendly link that they can just send to people that allows them to book a time with you, and that has automated like text and email reminders set up with that. And it's quite easy to set up, but man, it makes you look so much more professional than if you're saying, hey, what time works for you this week? And then you have to go back and forth and send like 6 emails until you actually lock down a time. So last one, downloading a lead magnet. So I won't touch too much on this today, but a lead magnet is essentially anything that has some value for people. So I'm sure you've all seen like download this PDF or check out this video, but it's behind a like contact form type of thing. And so you're essentially exchanging something of value for their contact information and their consent to start remarketing them. So lead magnets can be a very, very powerful tool as well. Here's a golden nugget that I would write down. The more friction that your conversion mechanism has, the more qualified your leads will be. Let me say that again. The more friction your conversion mechanism has, the more qualified your leads will be. Let me say it in different words. In other words, the harder you make it to become a lead, the better your leads will be. So you don't want to make it super easy for anybody and everybody if you're running paid ads. Ultimately, Meta is casting out to the general public. And then over time, the targeting becomes better. But nowadays, you used to be able to target very specific demographics of people through Meta ads. Now, all the targeting is done through the content itself, through the words that you're saying in the videos and the images. So it's going to get shown to a wide number of people. And you don't want it to be where anybody can just like click a button and then become a lead, because then you're going to get a ton of terrible quality leads that are going to waste your time and waste your money and condition your algorithm to show you more bad people. And so it's essential that you have at least one or ideally multiple layers of friction to becoming a lead. All right, so now you understand the foundation. This is all high level, theoretical, We're about to get more ground level and practical, but awareness, consideration, and conversion. These are the 3 foundational phases of consumer awareness that anybody that is going to pay you money has to go through in order to becoming a paying customer. So we need to be aware of these. Got it? Cool. All right. I already said that. With this understanding, now we can build a system that takes people through that journey for us on autopilot. So let's get practical. There are 3 main types of social media lead generation funnels. Now, this is not an exhaustive list. These are probably the 3 best. These are my 3 favorite when it comes to generating leads on social media. We have a DM funnel. This is running ads to your DM to start conversations. We have an instant form funnel. This allows us to capture information within the platform. And we have appointment funnels, which basically send qualified traffic to an external page, like a landing page or a website that you control. Everybody wrote that down? All right, so structure-wise, DM funnel, very simple. So we're running ads from the ads, so just like the ads that y'all saw for this, it's gonna be a video that pops up on their Facebook or Instagram feed, or maybe stories or reels or any of the other placements. They see that and they're gonna click on it if they're interested, and it's either going to take them to your social media profile or right into your DMs. And then from there, basically if they go to your social profile, they're probably just checking you out, make sure you're legit, and then they would send you that DM message. And then it's on you to follow up with them, engage in a conversation, and ultimately take them on to the next step of your process, which usually is going to be booking an appointment. Okay, here's an example. I saw this DM funnel over the weekend, and I just took a screenshot. This guy's actually another marketer. And so he's running a DM funnel to get clients. So, you're scrolling and you see an ad just like this, and if you click on it, it just instantly opens up his DMs. So when I click on it, he says, "Hey Brandon, DM me the word Houston for a free step-by-step breakdown on how we can help you scale your business with ads." And so I guarantee if I sent the word Houston, that's the keyword, then it's gonna send me a link to an external page, and then it's probably gonna have me fill out my contact information for a lead magnet. And so I know this guy, and he's got his, he's got a system down pat, but essentially this is what a DM funnel does at the highest level. It's just instantly getting you in conversation with people. Then we have an instant form funnel. This is running ads to an instant form, and then we will either engage our follow-up system if we have an automated follow-up system in place, or manually reach out to book an appointment with that person. Instant form funnel. These are my least favorite of the 3, and I'll tell you why in a minute. This is an example of what an instant form funnel looks like. So this, here they're running a static image ad, and then when you click on that, it opens up this questionnaire inside of Instagram or Facebook. So it's not taking you off platform. So has anybody seen this type of ad where I'm sure we've all probably filled out an instant form before. I'll explain the downfalls of instant forms. And then we have my favorite, which is, and tell me if I'm going too fast if y'all are trying to write stuff down. So then my favorite is appointment funnels. So this is what we are building for basically all of our clients. This is what I'm using to get more business for myself every day. This is essentially what got a third of the people in this room here today, which is running ads to a landing page. And of course, anytime you're running ads, they can also just click through to your social media profile. And then from the landing page, they get shown a qualification survey. So this is usually a series of 3 to 5 qualifying questions. And the purpose of that is to add friction so that our leads are actually good. And then after the qualification survey, they're going to get taken to an appointment booking calendar, like a Calendly link, like I mentioned earlier. And then they're going to get put into an automated nurture sequence of email and text-based reminders. And then if they end up no-showing for that event, then they're going to get automated nurture emails and sequences. That's a whole other class, honestly. But this is my favorite because it generates the highest quality of leads because we have the most layers of friction within the funnel. So the first layer of friction is that we are driving people off platform. Instead of going right into your DMs or instead of opening up an instant form, it's taking people away. And honestly, Meta doesn't like that much because it wants people to stay on the platform. But that, again, is friction. So if we are driving people away to an external landing page, a very small percentage of the people that see that ad are actually going to end up on the page. which doesn't sound great at first, but that's exactly what we want. We only want qualified traffic coming through this. And then from the landing page, you have the qualification survey. So usually they'll click a button on the main page, and I'll show you this, and then they'll end up on that qualification survey page. So it's another layer of friction, and then they have to fill out this whole 5-question long form. There's no autofill here. It's tap, 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 and then contact info. So that's a layer of friction. And then it guides them to that appointment booking calendar, which is another layer of friction. And so that's the whole point. The more friction, the better quality of the leads you're going to get. This is an example of what one of our clients' appointment funnels looks like. So we have, this guy's a personal trainer. So we've got an ad, Facebook ad on the left-hand side. It's a video. And then people click through to this top page. This is an opt-in, this is a landing page. The whole purpose of this page is to do a few things. One, build more trust. So we're showing testimonials. It's answering the essential questions that somebody might have. More video testimonials there. It's answering the essential questions that somebody might have before actually feeling comfortable enough to go on to the next step. So we're going to build trust, give some information, and then direct them to that next step. The next step is this survey page. So you see here we're asking 5 different qualifying questions. And so again, friction. The whole point is to get good information from these leads and then collect their contact information. And then it's going to bring them to this page, which is that appointment booking page. It's going to allow them to select a time with you. Usually we'll do a phone call or a video call as that call to action, and then the thank you page. Okay, so some kind of pros and cons of the DM funnel. Does anybody have any questions, by the way? Feel free to stop me if you have any questions. Okay, cool. So DM funnel, again, ads send people direct to the DMs. The funnel happens through the conversation. This is really best for beginners. This is best for very relationship-based services. So, real estate agents may benefit a lot from DM funnels, getting people in conversation with you before they have too much friction. And it's also good for, I guess on the same token with relationship-based services is industries where there is inherently low trust. So certain industries in here, like contractors or real estate agents, there's a ton of them out there, and there's a lot of really bad ones out there. And so there's inherently low trust for those types of businesses. Same with marketing agencies. A lot of crappy marketing agencies out there. And so I might not want to start a DM funnel because people are inherently, I may benefit from a DM funnel because people are inherently distrustful of me before they ever talk to me, more so than a lot of other industries. So if you're in those low trust, high relationship dependent industries, DM funnels can be great. And then business owners who have more time to spend than money right now, DM funnels are cheaper. You get a lower cost per result, but it is much more manual. So the pros, it's the easiest and fastest to launch, lowest cost per lead. Some people respond best to DMs, better than the other funnel types, and it doesn't require any website to be built. So that can be a big barrier for some people. The cons of a DM funnel is, like I said, it's more manual, it is more time consuming, there's less pre-qualification that happens, hence you get a higher quantity of lower quality leads. And if you have time and you're willing to do that, that's okay. You could even have somebody on your team, or if you're open to it, you can hire a VA, somebody overseas that can go in and basically be an appointment setter for you. So once somebody has responded to the DM funnel, then they're going in or you're going in and you're responding and you're engaging that conversation, and then you manually move them on to the next step. The instant form funnel, like I said, is my least favorite one. Basically, ads open up a form directly inside the whatever platform you're using. Leads submit basic information without leaving the app. This is best for fast lead capture, high demand services, and businesses with commission-based sales teams. And the reason I say that and put that in there is because we have a few clients that are using instant form funnels and getting a lot of business out of it. But compared to like an appointment funnel where you might be able to close, say 7 out of 10 leads that come in or 5 out of 10, with a instant form funnel, you might close 5 out of 100. And so just because it's so easy and so low friction that you get a lot lower quality leads coming through. And so some businesses are okay with that. They have a greater tolerance to high quantity, low quality leads if they have a sales team or if they have a lot of time on their hands. But it's not what I would recommend. And then appointment funnel. Again, this ad sending people to a landing page. Page explains the offer and sets expectations. Visitor completes the qualification survey, and then the qualified leads book a call onto your calendar to speak with you. This is best for high ticket services. This is good for complex or custom offers where there is some education that has to occur. This is better for owners who want a smaller number of higher quality leads, which is most of us in here. Businesses ready for structure, infrastructure, and then businesses with some sort of a consultative sales process, like I said, where there has to be some sort of conversation that happens, especially if you're offering a very custom service. The pros of this, the highest lead quality, pre-qualified prospects, saves time on unfit leads, more predictable, and can be highly, highly automated. And then cons, more setup required, it's more techy, and then you do need to have some sort of website or landing page that you're sending traffic to that's got that mobile optimized experience. Okay, the funnel type doesn't matter that much. It definitely matters, but you can have great success with any of these funnel types. The type of funnel you run depends on your skill level, your objectives, and whatever resources you have to work with right now. So some of us may have more time, some may have more money. You want to leverage whatever you have the most of right now. And that's a key point too, is I think a lot of people, they have this belief that whenever I have this, I'll get started. You know, whenever I have this much money, or whenever I have this much time open up, then I'll get started. And they're just shooting themselves in the foot. So it's not about having resources, it's about being resourceful. And that's a key point. What truly matters is laser-focused messaging that attracts the right people. This is far more important than whatever funnel structure or whatever tech stack you have. It's about speaking to the hearts and the souls of your dream clientele. It literally does not matter how many leads you're generating if they're the wrong people. You could be with the wrong messaging, you can be wasting so much money and so much time dealing with all these leads you're generating when they just were never a good fit to begin with. So your messaging is the foundation of everything. So now we're going to do an exercise in messaging. So go ahead and turn over your papers. We're going to start using these handouts. Now first, before you start reading it, let me give you some kind of guidelines here. Can anybody tell me what is the first step in creating a message that truly resonates with somebody?
Finding the problem that you're trying to solve.
I think that's a really good one. Finding their problem. Anybody else?
Finding the person you're trying to resonate with.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anyone else? How do you create a compelling, high-converting message? Okay, it's ultimately that. It's understanding who you're messaging to deeply, really being intentional about that. Understanding who are we trying to attract. As business owners, you know, and I get it, it can feel so tempting to want to message to everybody. And that's even pretty, you know, cliche, trite advice where people say like, when you're speaking to everybody, you're speaking to nobody, and we've heard that all the time. And some of us just have a wider array of potential clients that we could serve. But when you're building a social media sales funnel and you're doing paid advertising, your messaging has to be hyper specific. And so even if you do have 5 different target personas that you could serve, choose one of them, choose that dream client, and build the messaging specific to them. And I promise, doing that is not holding you back. It's only going to increase the effectiveness of what you're doing here. Here's another golden nugget that if y'all don't take away anything else, I want you to take this away. People don't buy from you when they understand what you offer. People buy from you when they feel understood. I'll say that again. People don't buy from you when they understand your offer. A lot of the times we try to educate. We think people need more information. People don't need more information. They don't remember what you say. They remember how you make them feel. And if they feel understood, then they are going to want to do business with you all day long. Your messaging, and anybody know Chris Voss, FBI negotiator? Been on a kick with his content lately. Kind of got this from him. Your messaging must demonstrate that you understand the desires and pain points of your market even better than they do. We want people to feel like you know them better than they know themselves, okay? So we need to really, it's not easy to do that. We need to really get inside their minds. And even if you do understand someone at a deep level, they won't feel like you understand them unless you've effectively demonstrated it and communicated that understanding in a way that works for them. So it's not enough to understand your clientele, but you have to demonstrate it and communicate that in their own language. You aren't here to sell them anything. You are here to guide. You are the guide that they have been needing. And here's the ultimate golden nugget. Your marketing should feel like a lifeline, not a sales pitch. People shouldn't see your ads. People shouldn't come across your marketing and be like, oh my God, another person running ads, trying to sell me. They should feel like a breath, like an exhale of relief, like, oh, I finally found this person. You know what I mean? Like I've been needing this person all my life and they're right here. So that's the goal of effective messaging. All right, now you can look at your paper. So we're gonna take a few minutes to fill out the target market section of the page. So we're gonna start putting some of this into practice. This should be extremely specific and detailed. The reason why I had y'all do that is we want to be thinking about all of these things and be able to combine them into a highly compelling and high converting meta ad. So we're going to review what the anatomy of a high converting ad looks like, what are the different elements of it, and then we're all going to go back and we're going to script our own ad that we can turn into an actual video and use to start getting business. So the first and definitely by far most important piece of a high converting meta ad is the hook. The hook is seconds 1 through about 5. It is the first few seconds. It is entirely designed to let your target market know, let the right people know that this video that they're seeing is meant for them. If they can't tell that in the first 5 seconds, they're just gonna scroll. And it's because you didn't make it clear enough that this is for them. So the hook is by far the most important. And I'll tell you my favorite hook, and I'll go into this more in a second. My favorite hook is simply, and I use this almost every single time, is a direct audience call out. If anybody saw my ads and was the reason they came here, they'll know that in the first few seconds I said, if you're a small business owner in the Woodlands, Texas, that was the hook. That tells you exactly who I'm talking to. And I could have even been more specific than that if I wanted to attract a certain type of business owner. And I do get more specific on certain ads, but in this case I wanted small business owners in the Woodlands. So I always use that direct audience call out. If you are a blank, in the blank, and you blank, and you're tired of dealing with blank, we want people to just get punched in the face with things. It's like, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me. And then it's now they're hooked and they're gonna watch the rest of the video. Your body. This is seconds 6 to about 40. We find for meta ads, the sweet spot is somewhere between 25 and 60 seconds. There's really no right length for meta ads. You know, it really depends on who you're marketing to, how much information is required in order to make, get them to take the next step. Some industries just require more information than others. The purpose of the body is to build trust, inform, resonate, and persuade. And then the call to action. This is crucial. You have to let people know what to do next, or else they won't do anything. And you'll have generated attention, but you didn't direct that attention anywhere. So the CTA is usually the last 5 seconds. Usually I like to say something like tap the link below to blah, 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 to request a consultation with me, to book an appointment, if you want, et cetera. Whatever that next step that you wrote down is, you want to guide them to that in the CTA. All right, so I want to show y'all 5 or 6 of the top performing ads that we've run for our clients, so you can kind of get an idea of how we go about scripting ads. There is no one perfect formula. It needs to be customized to you, but just so you can see how we approach it and what's working right now. So this first one I'll show you, this is a functional medicine clinic that we're working with. And some of these are going to be a little more produced, and some are going to be less, and that's okay. Just pay attention mostly to the script. The script is the most important thing. So yeah, this is Prince Health. They're a functional medicine clinic here in the Woodlands, and this ad is currently absolutely crushing for them.
If you're in the greater Houston area and you are so exhausted and in so much pain that you're starting to miss important moments with your family, keep watching. Every day that you push through brain fog, fatigue, chronic pain is a day that you don't get back. Maybe the fatigue keeps you from going to your kids' game. Maybe the pain keeps you from playing with your grandkids. Maybe
pain
the
points.
Traditional route has left you never feeling totally understood. I'm Dr. Ashley Prince, and every day I meet people who feel like life is moving on without them. Not because they haven't tried, but because something in their body is signaling that they need deeper attention. At Prince Health here in the Woodlands, Texas, We blend functional medicine and cutting-edge regenerative therapies.
Now we're showing what we actually do. What's our mechanism?
To help you heal and restore. I've worked with so many people who feel stuck on their healing journey and they're discouraged. But once becoming a patient, they quickly return to the activities and memories that they were missing. You've worked too hard to spend your best years on the sidelines. If you're ready for a doctor who truly listens and works to heal you instead of pushes pills your way, then tap the link below.
Call to action.
Request an appointment. Let us help you reclaim the moments that matter most.
Very good. I've seen that like 1,000 times.
You have? Has anybody else seen that already?
Ashley Prince.
Yep. Ashley Prince is great. Again, I'm just going to play the hook again. Pay attention to this hook.
If you're in the greater Houston area,
Immediate location call out. And that's a crucial thing too. If you serve a specific geographic area, you know, people are seeing content from all over the world when they're scrolling. And so if you just pop up and say, hey, if you're in the Houston area, if you're in the Woodlands area, your ears instantly perk up. And it's like, it makes you more curious because, like, oh, they're like right here where I'm at. So yeah, and then we do.
if you're in the greater Houston area and you are so exhausted and in so much pain that you're starting to miss important moments with your family,
You're so exhausted and in so much pain that you're starting to miss important moments with your family. We're not saying, hey, if you're in Houston and you're looking for a functional medicine doctor that can help you, it's like, no, nobody's looking for that. Nobody cares what you offer. They care about their problems. They care about what they feel and how you can help them with that. So that's why we're targeting pain points to get them to resonate right off the bat. Here's a different ad. This one, totally different business. This guy, self-recorded ad. He is a home security camera installer in Mississippi. This ad is printing cash for him right now.
If you're a parent in Jackson, Mississippi who gets that sick feeling in your stomach every time you think about your kids coming home and you're not there, well, I want to help. Hey,
Did you hear that hook? If you're a parent in Jackson, Mississippi, pain point.
if you're a parent in Jackson, Mississippi who gets that sick feeling in your stomach every time you think about your kids coming home and you're not there, well, I want to help. Hey, my name is Montario Edwards, and I'm the owner of
Introduces himself.
And I have one mission, and I believe that everyone should have eyes on what they love the most. When I install security camera systems for families, it's not all about catching bad guys. It's for the small moments, like when you're at work and just the warm feeling you get inside when you know that your kid made it home safe. It's also about checking on elderly parents or.
We're not speaking in jargon.
So no,
We're not talking all about the features of the cameras. It's about the pain points.
Most of them are just for staying connected to the people that you love, even when you can't be there. I personally assess your property, and I designed a system that gives you eyes where you need them the most. Click the link below to request your free quote, and also to keep eyes on what you love the most.
So that ad is doing very well right now. Give you another one. This one is for the Kalos project. This one is, we're not running it right now, but it is the most successful high converting ad that I've ever run, ever. So pay attention closely to this one. This is especially in the hook. And it's also, you know, the results that you, you're good. The results that you generate are heavily dependent on your market and how much demand there is in the local area. So, you know, this is kind of a belief that a lot of people can rally behind. And so that's another big reason. So we are just, you know, the vehicle, we are the messenger, but ultimately the greatest marketing in the world is a great product.
If you're a Houston homeowner and have thought about growing your own food, but don't think you have enough time, space, or know-how, then I want to help you. My name is Jonathan Clay, and I'm the founder of the Kalos Project. We're on a mission to decentralize and strengthen Houston's local food system, one kitchen at a time. As part of that mission, we design and build low-maintenance, high-yielding edible landscapes for homeowners throughout Houston. Our food system is broken, and growing your own food is one of the best ways to begin taking back control of your family's health and future. If you're ready to explore this for your family, then tap Learn More and fill out the questionnaire to request a discovery call. Talk to you soon.
That one absolutely crushed. I'm gonna show you a couple more. All right, this guy is a gym owner. This is the guy that we brought from 2 or 6 clients to 40 in 60 days, and he had to hire multiple personal trainers and knock down a wall in his gym to handle the capacity. So this ad printed as well.
If you're over 40 and you live in Montgomery County, you got a family, career, and you feel like you've lost your way when it comes to your health and fitness, I'm here to help you change that. My name's Nathan Redmond, and back in 2019, I lost 60 pounds and reversed.
Telling a story, relating to people. Also notice how visual it is. We're not just sitting in front of a phone and talking. We're moving around. We're doing things that are engaging.
For one-on-one and small group training. emphasis on building muscle, gaining strength, and burning fat, helping you look and feel amazing. I've just opened a private training facility right here in Conroe, Texas, filled with state-of-the-art equipment. Click on the link below to set up your free consultation, and let's get you in the best shape of your adult life.
So notice all of these really are sharing a very similar structure, just catered to that specific audience. And then now I'm going to show you one final one. This one I'm using to grow my own business. And you'll see, actually, let me show you a different one that I'm running. This one, you'll see this is very specific. So with our business right now, we're niching into pool builders. There's a whole thing, but pool builders are our niche, and I want to show you what I'm using to attract pool builders right now, and just pay attention to how specific the messaging is. If you build custom gunite pools and you're currently doing over $3 million per year in revenue, but you want to be doing a whole lot more, and you've got capacity to do at least 2 more new construction projects per month, then I want to help you. That's going to be a very small percentage of people that see this ad. So the click-through rate is tiny. It's like 0.8%, which generally anything below a 1% click-through rate on an ad, meaning like how many people see the ad, click on it, and go to your landing page, anything below 1's bad. But this is 0.8. So you would look at that and think, really bad. But actually not. That's the whole purpose, as we were targeting a very specific type of individual. A pool builder that builds custom gunite pools doing over $3 million a year, and they have capacity for 2 more projects a month. Like, very small percentage of the population, but that's the point.
Clay. My company is called Harmony Marketing, and we build lead generation systems for pool builders. We generate the leads, qualify the leads, nurture the leads, and book them onto calls with you or your sales team. All you got to do is meet with them and close the deal. And you only ever pay us 2.5% of the top line gross revenue that we generate. And you don't pay until you dig. So if you're a custom pool builder...
And then that's another example of, I'm not speaking in my words, I'm speaking in their words. I'm not saying you pay when you land the project, I'm saying you pay when you dig. And when you're a pool builder, that like dig means excavation, and I'm like, not every marketer is just gonna know that terminology. And so that's what I mean when I say you gotta speak in their language, not your language. And then there's, of course, a call to action. So let me return back here. All right, now we're gonna write our own ad scripts together. So everyone's going to use basically what they wrote in section 8 or sections 1 through 7. Those are your building blocks. We're just going to piece those together. So I provided a structure that's already outlined in section 8 there. Remember, proof and credibility destroys all doubts. So if you have, some of us have a lot more credibility in our industry than others. Some people have been in the business 40 years and helped hundreds of clients. Others haven't. So lean into whatever you do have. And equally as powerful is relatability and authenticity. Somebody who has uprooted their life and found their way around it and now knows all the things not to do, or somebody who's happened to coast by life and never uprooted it. You know what I mean? The person who's been through it and can share their mistakes with you, that's the one who you really want coaching from. You know what I mean? So I think like that kind of thing, the person that you are most equipped to help provide value to is the past version of yourself. So, it gives you that much more credibility to say, I went through this and I found the way through, instead of saying, I've never been through this. You know what I mean? So just wanted to share that in case any of y'all were running into that. A few tips for recording yourself, since I do recommend, just recording on your phone. I want you guys to actually create these ad scripts into a real video. So film on your phone's rear-facing camera, use a lav mic. You can literally just order a mic on Amazon for $30, $50. Great investment. Audio quality is far more important than video quality. So that's good to know. Just record one sentence at a time. You don't have to memorize the whole thing. Literally just whip out your phone, read a line, and then deliver it. And then go change your angle and then do another clip. And just go one sentence at a time. And focus on speaking as if you were speaking to a friend or a neighbor, not like you're selling. That's the next one. You're not selling, you're here to help. And then edit on CapCut. I'd recommend just getting the app CapCut for editing. Makes it really easy. Some of my favorite tools to speed up the process. You don't have to use all these. These are what I use to help build out funnels. Poppy AI. This is a really good AI tool for scripting things, scripting ads and content in your voice and according to what's working right now. So that's something I'd recommend looking into. There's a ton of videos on how to use Poppy to script content. That's kind of the whole purpose, but it's meant to help you script stuff fast that actually sounds like you and it's based on what's working instead of using ChatGPT and scripting AI slop. We're all tired of that. So I like using ChatGPT as a creative brainstorming partner, a strategic thinking partner, kind of going back and forth with it to help you flesh out ideas. I use it to help me prepare the outline for this presentation, but obviously it wasn't word for word scripted. A lot of this was me. And so think of it as a creative brainstorming and strategic partner. Manus AI, this is one of my favorite tools for doing deep target market research. It can literally, there's this agentic AI that can go out and gather all this data on your target market, researching forums and Google reviews and just what people are saying about, given target audience. So that helps. Basically, you take that deep research document that Manus gives you, put it in Poppy AI, and now you can script things effectively according to actual data. Whisper Flow, I use this religiously. Very simple. This is voice dictation. And so I'll just show you real quick what it does. So, typing can be slow. And so I can literally hit a key on my keyboard and I can start talking and it will take whatever I'm saying and put it into a structured sentence. And I can start talking and we'll take whatever I'm saying and put it into a structured sentence. So if I'm prompting like ChatGPT and having a creative session with it, then I can use this to just word vomit, but then it actually structures everything I said instead of just being a whole mess of words. So Whisper Flow, very useful tool. And then CapCut, already said that. Video editing, don't use anything more complex, it's not necessary. And then HighLevel, if y'all haven't heard of it, HighLevel is a CRM system that allows you to keep track of all the leads that you're generating and make sure you know at every point in the sales process where your leads are, and automate lots of different sales automations opportunities. So you can automate things like emails and texts and nurture sequences and make sure you're staying top of mind without having to manually go send a bunch of automated follow-ups. Okay, to cap things off, this was a waste of time for everybody if you don't implement. It's all about taking this and actually using it to get more clients. I've given you knowledge now that you can literally use to make tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars or more over the lifetime of your career if you actually implement it. So here's what I want to offer to you. Is basically to anyone here who actually takes their ad script that they just created and over the next 7 days turns this into a real video ad. Use CapCut, record yourself, go around town, whatever, add captions on it. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. But if you actually implement this and make it an ad, I'll send you step-by-step instructions on how to actually go launch the ad inside of Meta the right way so you can start generating new business with it. And if you still can't get it, then I'll get on a call with you to make sure that you're doing it right so that you can actually use this information that you've received today. Accountability, anyone? Who wants to actually be held accountable to doing this over the next 7 days? Okay, wait, here. I'm gonna take a picture of whoever's who wants accountability? Raise your hand. Okay, I'm gonna be checking in and make sure that y'all actually did this. The right funnel can utterly transform your business and transform your life. It can unlock new levels of leverage and freedom within your business that you've never experienced before. Just building a funnel doesn't mean you're going to get rich overnight. It requires experimentation, trial and error, patience, and sometimes serious guts. But the right funnel can be one of the most transformative things that you ever do for your business. Thank you.